Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. You know, one of the biggest problems I have with living overseas is conducting business. It can be frustrating, and I didn't retire to be frustrated all the time. It doesn't matter whether you're trying to conduct business here in the Philippines or in your home country. Sometimes it can be like pulling teeth, man. I'm just going to give you a couple of just brief examples of why I want to pull out the rest of my hair today. But anyway, Boobie's getting ready to receive her Social Security benefits. So just like my sons in America, I want the money going to them or to their mother, not to me. I'm 63. My daughter's 5. Anything could happen to me. I don't want them to have to go through, jump through hoops and all of that to get the money if something happens to me. I want it coming directly to them. So I just said, let's make it simple. Marilyn, go over to the bank and open up a joint account with you and Boobie. That way, the money can go right to her. Because that's what they asked you. See, I've got an appointment Friday, which is a week from today. And that's what they're going to ask me. They're going to ask me the bank account that you want this money to go into. It's either going to be your account or the person you're applying for. Well, the first mistake is Marilyn goes over there to open up the joint account and mentions a pension, mentions Social Security. Well, that sent bells and whistles going off over there at the bank. Now, all of a sudden, they want all this documentation, proof of guardianship and all of that. And I'm like, ma'am, we don't need all of that. So I come there, I'm sitting there, and, we got the letters from Social Security and the embassy. The first thing she does, she looks at them, because remember, over here, you better dot your I's and cross your T's. One of the big problems with dealing and conducting business overseas is you're not at home. The rules are different, or at least they'll say they are. So she says, oh, you need an official letter, official appointment letter from the government or the embassy. I'm saying, lady, this is official. You see the Social Security and the U.S. Embassy on, it's official. June the 8th, I've got to go there. Oh, you just going to talk to them on the phone? No, that's another appointment, ma'am. This is where I'm filing for her claims, because I gave them 2 letters. Oh, you got kids now. Like, I'm trying to scam. Like, yeah, Boobie will be 6 in August. Well, anyway, she said, no, we're not going to be able to do that because you got to go to the embassy and give proof of guardianship. I said, look, ma'am, the only reason she's receiving these benefits from the government is because she's my daughter. Do you understand that this money is not hers? It's mine. She qualifies for it, something called survivor benefits. No, she's telling me I've got to go to the embassy and get proof of guardianship in order for my daughter's money just to go into my account here. Because what they're going to do, if we can't get this situated, they're going to send the money to my account in America where my Social Security goes to. I don't want that. But in order for it to get sent here, I've got to have proof of guardianship and all kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm thinking I'm talking to the manager, but I'm not. That's the problem. When you go into a business, I don't care what business it is, no one has the authority to make any kind of decisions or any kind of changes. You're really not going to get any help. You're going to come out of there frustrated like I did. My blood pressure was probably twice as high as it should have been. And I didn't get retired for that. See, I'm telling you now to conduct as little business as possible in your host country and at home because, okay, I'm going to give you another story, but first of all, let me finish this story because it's going to be so frustrating, man. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you telling me that just because It's a pension. It's not even a pension. They call it a pension. It's Social Security benefits. We got to go all the way to Manila and get proof of guardianship? It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, we didn't get that done at that particular bank. The bank that I've been a customer for 5 years, over 5 years. You know, you better dot your I's and cross your T's. They're very strict here, man. So do very little business here as you possibly can. I don't care what it is. Because you're not at home, the rules are different. But Maryland messed up in the beginning. Just go over there and open up the damn joint account. Don't say anything about Social Security. It has nothing to do with it. Because there's laws here that minors can open a checking account. A savings account. 7 and over. Okay, without parental assistance. And a bank may ask them to, sign something or whatever, but there's no proof of guardianship. It's the law. And if you're under the age of 7, you can do a joint account. But the minute you mention Social Security and stuff like that, bells and whistles are going to go off, man. It's hard to open up bank accounts over here, period, with all the, money laundering and stuff that, they're looking for over here. So, yeah, man, I'm frustrated. I'm 63. My daughter's 5. I don't want the money coming to me. In America, it was real simple. The money goes to the mother. Okay? But anyway, that's enough of that because I get excited just thinking about it. So you're going to say, oh, so you got kids now. Yeah, lady, like, what am I going to try to scam you for? My daughter's almost 6 years old, man, but it is what it is, man, when you live overseas. You don't get the benefit of the doubt. So you're telling me to open up a business over here? No way would I do it. Okay? But anyway, something else that happened to me. I'm mad at my daughter. Now I've got my Capital One card, the only card I use over here. Okay, it's about to expire, so they send out a new card, April the 23rd. See, one of the good things that I did when I went home last year was I was able to physically have my credit cards in my hand, which is very important to me. Even though this card's expiring and they're going to send me out a new one, once it comes, I'm not going to have physical control of it. I can still use it online and everything like that, right? I want physical control. Well, anyway, April 23rd, they sent it out, still hasn't come. So I'm thinking to myself, are you sure? I'm asking my daughter, are you sure that card didn't come? Because when I was staying with her, she would have a pile of mail on her table. And I'm saying to her, I've been gone a year. You're telling me I haven't had any mail at all from Social Security, from any of the insurance companies I represent? Nothing? She says, no, just fake credit card approval letters. One came from MasterCard. I'm saying, yeah, because my Capital One is MasterCard. That's the kind of frustrating stuff it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to pay about $100 to have her send that card to me once it comes, because they had to deactivate it. So by deactivating that account, they deactivated the card I've got in my pocket because they're connected. So I got to pay all that. You understand how frustrating it can be when you move to a whole different country? It's always going to be something. Okay? Take care of everything before you move, guys. Doing business overseas is crazy. It's one of the biggest problems with moving overseas. Certainly, I've got a divorce that I've got to get done. I didn't get that done when I went home. You see what I'm saying? So I got one foot in the United States and one foot in the Philippines. You can imagine how frustrating that is. But that stuff didn't even bother me. But the Social Security, getting that money sent over here, oh yeah, that frustrated me, man. It frustrated me because they don't understand. Once they hear government, once they hear pension, oh man, they go crazy. Now all of a sudden, It's all different rules now. Maryland has to prove her guardianship of her own daughter. I said, well, when you sign up for school, you don't have to have proof of guardianship. If you do anything else but try to open up an account over here at this particular bank, will you need proof of guardianship? But the minute you mention government and Social Security and pension, it all goes out the window, guys. Do as little business you possibly can over here. Okay? Remember, that's always going to be a problem. You're always going to have something going on, either in your country or here, that you're dealing with. We didn't retire for that. See? That's why I only use one card over here. Imagine trying to manage all them cards that's expiring and all of this and all of that. Not worth it. So if you're in America, if you're in the Philippines, wherever you are, finding your heart to help somebody. Not a day goes by that I don't help somebody. We ended up giving away helping 75 people get free gasoline on my birthday. Imagine that. 75 is a lot of people, man. 200 pesos each. And then I gave 5 people 500 pesos each. Well, I actually gave 4 500, and then I gave one guy 1,000 because his birthday was the same day as mine, and he had it on his ID. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Don't do anything stupid, guys. Have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed when you talk about moving overseas. Because eventually the day's going to come when something's going to be due. Something's going to expire. And you're going to be like, man, do I have to go all the way to America for my Social Security appointment or to get my new credit card or whatever it is, to get my divorce finalized or trying to do business over here? It's like pulling teeth, guys. I know some people going to say, oh, it's easy for me. Man, look, you ain't doing a whole lot of business over here. Because if you was, you would understand what I'm talking about. Just opening up that account was a headache for me. Even though it's the law that you can open up an account over here. They're going to put you through the ringer to do it. That's why a friend of mine, Angelo Habib, shout out to you, Angelo, he made a great point. He said, look, if you're able to open up an account in the Philippines and you do go back home, leave it open. Fund it a little bit, but keep it open because it's hard to get a bank account here. It's hard to get a joint account here for your daughter. I found that out. I was so frustrated because at some point I just stopped. I said, okay, ma'am, thank you. Have a nice day, because I was not getting through. The only reason, okay, you're telling me I need proof of guardianship for my own daughter when the only reason she's getting these benefits is because I'm the father and she's my daughter. That's the only reason. But she says, no, you need authorization from the U.S. Embassy. Imagine me going to the U.S. Embassy asking for that. They're going to look at me like I'm crazy. But I'm going to ask anyway because I got to get that done, guys. I'm 63. My daughter's 5. If something were to happen to me, they're going to have to jump through hoops to get that money. Okay? I don't want that.